So guys, recently I faced a huge loss right at the market open, losing around $8,000 within the first 5 minutes of market open. And I get this question a lot: how do you come back from a big loss? And I think this is a perfect example to show you guys the steps I take to come back from a huge loss like this one. If you have been trading the stock market for a while, you know the fact that no one has a 100% win rate. That means you will face losses in the stock market. Your job as a trader is to minimize the losses, embrace the losses, learn from them, and try to score good winning trades. I have seen a lot of traders with a win rate of only 50 or 60%. That means only 5 or 6 out of their 10 trades are winner, but they are still able to make around millions of dollars at the end of the year. So what they are doing in this case is that on their winning trades, they are letting their winners run and they are cutting their losers very short, and that's what you should do. But every now and then we all face huge losses or maybe a streak of small losses, and it's very difficult to come back from those losses. In an ideal world, yes, you are cutting your losers, you're letting your winners run, your trading is going very good, your equity curve is going straight up with small drawdowns, straight up with small drawdowns, but it's difficult to come back from a huge loss or maybe a streak of small losses because that ruins your confidence. And whenever you lose your confidence, you should have steps in place so that you can gain your confidence back, get back to the same level and grow beyond that level, because that's the job of each and every trader in this world. And I'm not a guru in this case. I think I just have experience because I have faced a lot of green and red streaks, and I know the steps I need to take personally to come back from a red streak and get back to a green streak, and that's what I will be discussing in this video. Now let's break down the losing trade, the trade on which I lost $8,000 on, and then how I came back from it with a real life example. The huge losing trade I took was on a stock called NVDA. NVDA reported earnings last week on Wednesday. After the earnings, they were gapping up on Wednesday after hours. On Thursday in the pre-market, NVDA broke all-time high in the pre-market itself. My play on NVDA was to take it before the break of 325 because 325 is a good psychological level on NVDA. It's also all-time high, supported by good earnings and the raise in the guidance. I will show you guys my entries and exits on a chart because I don't have a recording of this day. Unfortunately, I forgot to turn on my recording, but I will post a screenshot of my fills right here. As I explained, NVDA made a pre-market high of around $325. Right on the first minute, NVDA was testing 325. I should have actually waited for the break of 325 or maybe waited for a pullback to $320, but I was too eager to get into this position. No one can be perfect. As I always say that you can have a trade idea and execute on that trade idea and cut your losers. That's your job as a trader. Before the break of 325, I entered 30 contracts at a fill price of 6.30. I'm trading 330 calls, same week expiry contracts. When I entered this position, NVDA rejected from 325, so I was expecting that it might bounce from $320 because a lot of times what happens is the stock will pull back to the VWAP and then push towards the upside. I gave it a bit more room. That's my mistake, and I exited all my contracts at the break of the VWAP and the break of $320 level towards the downside. My fill price on the exit was 3.65. That means I lost around 50% of my investment on this trade, losing $8,000 within the first 4 minutes of market open. As I always say that trading the market open, it's very risky. It's rewarding as well, but it's risky at the same time. Saying that, I could have done a few better things on this trade. First thing is that I could have waited for a pullback to the VWAP, a confirmation of the hold of the VWAP, and then enter my position because NVDA was gapping up a lot in the pre-market itself. The second thing I could have done better is that even though I entered right here, I could have cut my loser at 323 or 324. That's what I usually do. But as you guys know, no one can be perfect in trading. You can learn from your mistakes. I learned from my mistakes, and then I decided to move on from that loss. I just broke down my huge loss that I took right at the market open, but surprisingly, I was able to end the day green because Amazon started moving on this day, and I was waiting for this setup for the past 4-5 days, which I mentioned in our Discord group as well. On our Discord group, I mentioned this before the market open in the daily game plan and on the voice chat as well for the whole week. I was waiting for this play since Monday last week. Amazon had a huge rally towards the upside. It's been making bull pennant right here, so I was liking it for the break of this trend line towards the upside, because if we break this trend line and if we get the momentum with the market supporting, we might see the break of 3600. If we break 3600, we might see a rally towards the upside for the break of 3650 and 3660. So Amazon started moving. As I mentioned, this was the hold of the trend line on the 1 hour chart. It was was holding at that trend line. If you look at the 1 minute chart, I entered on the pullback of 35.80. One time I entered 3600 calls. I entered right here. I got faked out. Then I took it on the pullback at the hold of this 35.80 and 35.78. I entered 3650 calls. I was holding 10 contracts and I caught this whole move towards the upside, taking partials along the way. On this trade itself, I made around $6,000 to $7,000, putting me back in the game. But after a while, Amazon made this bull flag on the 1 minute chart, which I also mentioned in our Discord group. We had a rally towards the upside. It's been holding these moving averages very nicely on the 1 minute. At the break of this triangle, I lowered my position sizing on this trade. I only took 5 contracts trading the same 3650 calls, and I caught this move for the break of high of the day towards the upside, putting me green for the day. Let's now take a look at my PNL from this day. I was down around $8,700 on NVDA. I'm just breaking down my big winners and big losers from this day. Then I caught Amazon for the break of 3600 towards the upside, making $6,600 on that trade. I took a few scalps in between, lost on Amazon, made on NVDA, but I won't be discussing those trades in this video because this is going to be very long. Then Amazon was making a flag pattern on the 1 minute, which I mentioned in the Discord group as well. Finally, I caught this move with 5 contracts trading the same 3650 calls. I was up $1,000 for the day. After this trade, I took another trade on Amazon with just 2 contracts, ending the day with around $1,500 in the green. After ending the day green, I was still not happy with my trading because I let my loser go out of control on NVDA. I was not expecting to lose $8,000 on that trade, but I lost around 40 to 50% of my investment, which is not like me. I usually cut my losers really quick. I knew that I kind of got lucky on Amazon, but you won't have your luck work out in your favor if you don't have a plan beforehand. I had a plan on Amazon. I was waiting for that play patiently, and I was able to execute on that trade properly even after being red for the day, which did not mess me up emotionally, which is a good thing. I was also aware of the fact that if it wasn't for Amazon, maybe Amazon moved the next day, I would have ended the day with $8,000 or maybe $9,000 in the red, which would have been a big loser day for me. It won't be the end of the world because I'm still nicely green for the month. I have the cushion for the month to increase my size, but it was still a huge loss for me. As I mentioned in the video, that after a huge loss, your job is to get your confidence back. Yes, I turned out to be green. I was able to maintain my composure, my calm, execute on my Amazon trades properly, but I can't ignore the fact that I held on to my loser on NVDA. So you have to work on yourself before the disaster actually happens. That's why the following day, I lowered my position sizing. I took A+ trades with very good entries and exits, making around $4,500 US, and because I lowered my position sizing, none of my positions were more than $10,000. That means I would have made the same amount of money with even a $10,000 account. Let's now take a look at my trades from the following day, the next day, and the steps I took to come back from that huge loss on NVDA that I faced right at the market open the previous day. The next day I took 3 trades in total, 2 on Amazon and 1 on Shop, all 3 winners. Before we jump on to my trades on Amazon, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification because it helps out the channel a lot to reach new traders out there. So as I mentioned, Amazon broke this trend line. It had a huge rally towards the upside. It broke $3,700 level as well the previous day. It made a high of the day around 3,705. In the pre-market, Amazon was gapping up. It made a pre-market high of around 3,720. I was liking it for the hold of $3,700 or 3,705, which is the yesterday's high, for a continuation move towards the upside for the break of 3,750, which is the next resistance, followed by the all-time high, which is 3,773.08. Here's my recap on Amazon. This dotted line is the yesterday's high, and this is the pre-market low, and this is the pre-market high. Right at the market open, Amazon found support at the yesterday's high. If you look at the level 2, we are seeing a lot of buyers around 3708 and 3710. That's why I got filled 5 contracts. I'm lowering my position sizing. As I mentioned, I'm not taking 10 contracts. I got filled at a fill price of 13.25. I'm trading 3750 calls. And as we are speaking, I'm already in the money. The premiums are up around $18 to $20 at the moment. That is an increase of around 50% within the first 30 seconds of market open. At the break of 3730 towards the upside, I will take 2 of my contracts out out just a partial out of the 5 contracts I'm holding at a fill price of 20.90. When Amazon was having difficulty holding above 37.30, it made this stopping wick. I covered my whole position, the remaining 3 contracts at a fill price of 17.40, overall making around $2,700 on this trade within the first 2 minutes of market open. Let's now break down my second trade on Amazon. We had a nice rally towards the upside. If you look at the 5 minutes, on the 1 minute, Amazon was finding support at 37.35. That's what Amazon usually does. It has a rally towards the upside. It finds support at a level like 37.35, 37.30, 37.40. At the hold of 37.35, now I'm trading the next week contracts because I'm green for the day. I don't want to risk a lot of my profits. I only took 2 contracts, 3,800 calls, next week expiry at a fill price of 38.27. You guys can see when I entered right here, I was clearly in the money. I was up around $500 on this trade each contract. That means this was a $1,000 trade, but I was happy with my profits. By this time I was already green for the day. I just took 2 contracts on this one, expecting the break of all-time high. If all-time high breaks, I will take my profits. If not, I will get out at break even. And that is what happened exactly in this case. Amazon rejected from 37.55. It came down to 37.45. That's why I covered my whole position at the fill price of 39.50, overall making around $250 on this trade. My third trade on this day was on Shop. I was watching Shop on the sidelines because it was all set to break all-time high in the pre-market itself. Shop had a good move right off the open. I also mentioned this in our Discord group. After that huge move towards the upside right here, Shop was holding pre-market high. I entered at the hold of pre-market high to catch the break towards the upside for the break of all-time high. Shop had a crazy move towards the upside. It moved like $20 in the first 2 minutes of market open. It was holding the 9 EMA and the pre-market high. That's why I got filled 5 contracts. I'm trading 1750 calls, same week expiry contracts, and my fill price was 11.25. On this trade, my stop loss is the break and hold under the pre-market high, that is around 1720 on this one. As per my plan, Shop found support at the pre-market high. Buyer stepped up. We had a push towards the upside at the break of 1735 towards the upside. I took 2 out of my 5 contracts out at a fill price of 14.07. As I mentioned this in our Discord group, a lot of our members caught this move along with me, making a lot of money on Shop. If you guys want to be part of our Discord group, the link will be in the description box below. In our Discord group, we won't tell you where to enter and where to exit your position because that is not how you learn to trade on your own. We will teach you on how to become self-sufficient traders. You will learn from me, from a lot of our members, how they are trading. We are a community of serious and supportive traders. At the end of the day, we will teach you how to become a self-sufficient trader and how to manage your position sizing, how to manage your risk so that you can grow your equity curve towards the upside. On my trade on Shop, after taking 2 contracts here, I took another 2 contracts at the fill price of 15.00. I was expecting the break of 1750. That's why I was just holding my 1 contract. But when the premiums came back approximately to my entry point, you guys know if I take partials on a position, I will always exit at break even. I covered my last contract at the fill price of 12.40. Overall making $1,400 on this trade by just taking 5 contracts, which was an insane move in my favor. When everything was done, let's take a look at my PNL. I made $2,700 on Amazon. I made $1,400 on my second trade on Shop. On my third trade of the day on Amazon with 2 contracts, I made $250. Overall ending the day with $4,400 in the green with 100% win rate. So guys, you can see even after messing up on NVDA and facing that huge loss, I was self-aware of the situation. The following day, even though I ended the day green, the following day I lowered my position sizing. I only took 5 contracts on Amazon, 5 on Shop, and only 2 contracts on my last trade on Amazon. I did not even invest more than $10,000 on any single given trade, and I still made $4,500 US with 100% win rate. And that's what I always say after facing a huge loss. Your goal is to get your confidence back, and I think my confidence is back up to where it was before facing that huge loss on NVDA. Before you go, make sure that you guys give this video a thumbs up because every single like counts and it helps out the channel to reach new traders out there. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification because I'm releasing 2 to 3 new videos on day trading every single week. If you don't follow me on Instagram, the link will be in the description box below. I post a lot of behind the scenes of a day trader, my PNL, my life outside of trading on Instagram. So make sure that you follow me there. Thank you for watching and I will see you guys in the next video.